Good afternoon, traders. Hopefully, everyone is having a good day today. We have the Dow up, the S&P, and the Nasdaq down. Now, before we get into the show, I really do want to thank all my subscribers. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. All right, and if you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and do so. I think you'll get a lot of valuable technical information from my analysis. All right, guys. With that said, let's go into the SPY, the spider. We have it up on the screen. So as you can see, we did make a 52-week high yesterday, but we were also hitting this upper Bollinger Band right here, guys. So, and the way it closed, it was near the low of the day. I wasn't too keen on the way, the way it closed. And but you know what? I'm really impressed on the way the market actually held up today, guys. Don't be too concerned if we do see a little bit of a sell-off in the spider and the overall market. There are some key levels right beneath us that should provide a lot of support. Okay, we have that the 10 SMA right here, that blue line. We have that 50-day moving average, and we have this value area high, right? There's a confluence of indicators right in this area right here, which I would say right at 338 on the low end and all the way up here at 343 at the higher end of that spectrum. Okay, guys. So if you do see a sell-off and we start getting down to those levels, you're going to see a lot of technical traders come in and start buying. All right, guys, that is the SPY. All right, let's go into four stocks that look really promising going into this week, the rest of the week, and probably going forward. And the first one is one that I've played in the past, and it's ESPR. All right, so ESPR had a pretty good day today, probably on the back of Credit Suisse's outperform rating. ESPR did have their earnings rather back a few days ago, back on the 2nd of November. It did gap down. Market really didn't like it. But as you can see, it pretty much gave up or came back, and it's taken back rather all of its gains, right? So now what? I really like the fact that we're above. Well, first of all, I really do like the fact that earnings are behind us. I did listen to the conference call. CEO sounded really confident, but I really don't, put too much heart into that. Obviously, CEOs, put a lot of effort and believe in their companies. That's why they run the company. So we need to be more of agnostic when we trade. So we need to see certain key levels. We need to see, the technicals turn around, right? So, and this is a really good opportunity for that. Okay, so now we're trading after these earnings. We're trading above this 10 SMA. I really like that. Usually if a stock is going to gap down and go further down, it's usually going to go down for 2 or 3 days. But quite the contrary, we made that low on that earnings release, and then we've moved up since then, right? So that's really a good sign, in my opinion. That means typically all the bad news is behind us, right? So again, watch ESPR. This could be a really big winner. Buy it on a pullback, and then, in my opinion, use this 5 SMA right here as your line in the sand. Okay, I'm going to zoom in on here. Be a buyer again above today's high tomorrow or above that first 30-minute candle tomorrow, and then use this light blue line, which is that 5 SMA right here, as your stop price. Any close below that, guys, I will be out of the name. Okay, that's it. Right now it sits at, right, let's say call it 27.64. So anything below 27.50 would be a sell. So your risk reward is about $1.50 in this name. So if tomorrow you see a pullback, make sure that holds. If that 27.50, let's call it, does not hold, do not be a buyer. Now, if you do get in after that first 30-minute candle tomorrow, again, use that 5 SMA right here as your stop price. All right, guys, that's ESPR. Second stock that looks pretty good going into the next few days is going to be STNG. Here's another one that had earnings a few days ago. Really like the way this is setting up. I have it on that 513 chart real quick. The 5 EMA did cross that 13 when it gapped up on that on when oil spiked yesterday, and now it took out yesterday's high. Now this one looks like it's really really strong. It looks like it's going to be bought on pullbacks, guys. So I do have this on a yearly chart right here, but I want to show you something, right? So there's a little bit of resistance right here at that 1172 mark. As you can see, we try to bust through there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and we couldn't make it. It couldn't get above that 1172. So that's going to be my target for this stock in the next few days, guys. I want to see if we can bust above that 1172. If we can take that out with some decent volume, I am going to target that $14 area. And I'm going to zoom out here a little bit. I'm going to show you why. Here's another situation going back, since early July, that we try to bust above that $14. only to fail and make 52-week lows, right? So let's get above that 1175, let's call it, and then we're going to target that $14 area. And then if that were the case, who knows where we're going after that. I think we're going to be in that low 20 mark. Okay, guys? So watch this very carefully. Buy it on pullbacks. If you want to get in, I would recommend getting in above that 1170 area. That would be a true breakout, in my opinion. Or buy this if it gets right back down to that 5 SMA and that 11, let's call it $10.20 area. All right, guys, that is STNG. Next stock that looks pretty good going into the next few days is going to be PEIX. Had earnings, did sell off. Earnings were actually quite impressive, but technically the stock looks like it can go lower. We're in this channel where we're below this 10 SMA right here, and that Bollinger Band, the lower Bollinger Band, guys. So be very careful. I wouldn't step in and buy this right away. Let's see if these lows can hold, especially that 550 area. If you start seeing this taken out for the 550, let's wait for better trade location in PEIX. I do like the way that they actually made 24 cents this last quarter. That's actually pretty impressive. They beat expectations, but still, that doesn't really matter. Technically, guys, this can go a lot lower before we turn this corner. Okay, that's PEIX. Let's wait a little bit better. Let's wait for some trade location on this. Let's be a buyer above that 10 SMA, so above today's high, let's call it, and then be a seller if it starts going below that 550 area. That's PEIX, or Pacific Ethanol. Last stock that looks really good too is WKHS. Pretty impressed with the way they had earnings, and it did really well. It's above this 10 SMA, as you can see. It's above this point of control, which is that red horizontal line. If you are a believer in this name, you really think that Workhorse is a company you want to invest in, I think this is where you want to be. This is the trade location where you want to be, right? Because it's really defined at this point, guys. So again, tomorrow be a buyer above today's high, and then if you do get long, remember, use this 10 SMA right here as your guide, your stop limit right here, okay, guys, which at this point it's 746. So you're going to have to give this a little bit of room to run if you do get into the name, okay? That's WKHS. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Again, my name is Eric, and you can reach me at eric@valueareatrader.com, or you can just leave a comment down below. Now, if you're not a subscriber and you did like the show, go ahead and subscribe. I do provide a lot of valuable information on technical analysis. All right, guys, have a great evening, and we will see you tomorrow after the close. And remember to trade smart and be safe.